Everything you need to know about HMS Queen Elizabeth, GB's biggest warship, joins the Navy. The Queen officially welcomed the Royal Navy's new £3.1 billion aircraft carrier into the fleet today in a ceremony in Portsmouth, and the vessel is the largest ever built for the Defence Force. Alongside the Queen were Princess Anne, Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson, Chancellor Philip Hammond and military chiefs. During the ceremony, the commissioning warrant was read, and the blue ensign, which has been flying from the ship until it is formally handed over to the Royal Navy, was replaced with the white ensign, raised by 20-year-old able seaman Ellie Smith from Hull. Queen Elizabeth described the ship as the most powerful and capable ship ever to raise the white ensign. She said, "At the forefront of these responsibilities will be the men and women of the Royal Navy, the Royal Marines, supported by the Army, Royal Air Force and by coalition partners. As the daughter, wife and mother of naval officers, I recognize the unique demands our nation asks of you, and I will always value my special link to HMS Queen Elizabeth, her ship's company and their families." Defence Secretary Gavin Williamson said, "Today marks the start of a hugely significant chapter for the Royal Navy, and indeed the nation, as the future flagship is commissioned into Her Majesty's fleet. It is an honour to witness the crowning moment of an extraordinarily busy year for the Royal Navy that has seen us name the second carrier, HMS Prince of Wales, cut steel on the first Type 26 frigates and launch the national shipbuilding strategy." Admiral Sir Philip Jones, First Sea Lord and Chief of Naval Staff, said, "In hoisting the white ensign from HMS Queen Elizabeth today, Britain has confirmed her place among the world's great maritime powers in the most majestic and muscular terms." The Queen Elizabeth-class carriers will sit at the heart of a modernised and emboldened Royal Navy, capable of projecting power and influence at sea, in the air, over the land and in cyberspace, and offering our nation military and political choice in an uncertain world. But our greatest strength of all is the young sailors and Marines upon whose shoulders our continued security and prosperity rests. They are starting their careers as a new chapter opens for the Royal Navy, and like all those who have gone before them, they are ready to serve their Queen and country. Here are the facts and figures behind the vessel, which will be officially commissioned into the Royal Navy on December 7. The proportions of the new HMS Queen Elizabeth are quite staggering. They have to be able to accommodate 679 permanent crew and a total capacity for 1,600 servicemen and women when at full capacity. Height: the ship is 56 meters tall, that's higher than Niagara Falls and 3 times as the height of Wimbledon's centre court. Length: HMS Queen Elizabeth is a staggering 280 m long, which dwarfs the Houses of Parliament, which comes in at 265 m. Even Tower Bridge is a mere 244 m. The ship could line up 25 of London's new Route Master buses. Its flight deck is 280 meters long and 70 meters wide, enough space for 3 football pitches. Width: the ship's flight is 70 m wide, enough space for 4 jumbo jets to stand side by side. Weight: with dimensions of those proportions, it's not surprising that HMS Queen Elizabeth weighs quite a bit, some 65,000 tons, equivalent to 10,236 African elephants, The Guardian estimates. Cost: as the ship was commissioned along with HMS Prince of Wales by the Labour government in 2007, exactly figures for HMS Queen Elizabeth are not available, but the original estimate at the time was £3.5 billion, although by last year this figure had risen to an estimated £6.2 billion, according to a report in the Financial Times. Estimates put the cost of the HMS Queen Elizabeth at around £3.1 billion. Over 10,000 people across the UK have contributed to the delivery of the ship under the Aircraft Carrier Alliance. HMS Queen Elizabeth will now go into helicopter trials in the new year and head to the United States for initial flight trials in autumn 2018. On board, the aircraft carrier weighs 65,000 tons and has a top speed in excess of 25 knots. A number of shipbuilding yards around the country were involved in the build. These include Govan and Scottstoun in Glasgow, Appledore in Devon, Camel Laird in Liverpool, ANP on the Tyne in Newcastle and Portsmouth. A total of 10,000 people worked on construction of the ship, made up in sections at yards around the UK and transported to Rosyth, Fife, where it was assembled. It is the second ship in the Royal Navy to be named Queen Elizabeth. The ship has a crew of around 700, that will increase to 1,600 when a full complement of F-35B jets and Krauss Nest helicopters are embarked. There are 364,000 meters of pipes inside the ship, and from keel to masthead she measures 56 meters, 4 meters more than Niagara Falls. Facilities on board include a chapel, a medical center and 12-bed ward, staffed with GPS, a nurse and medical assistants, as well as a dentist and dental nurse. There are also 5 gyms on the warship, which include a cardiovascular suite, 2 free weight rooms and a boxing gym. Regular fitness circuit sessions and sporting activities such as basketball and tug of war are held in the hangar and on the flight deck, with weights and other items stored inside the flight deck ramp. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe.